Hello squad, come on in. We're gonna make Chex Party mix today. I know it's just March, but I'm gonna show you how to make Chex Party mix. You can have this all year round. I like it all year. Some people only fix it at Christmas, but here at the Christmas couple's house, we're gonna have it all year. Come on down here and look. This is what you're gonna need. I need a better cameraman.
I'm learning this.
You're gonna need onion powder, Lowry's seasoned salt, not necessarily Lowry's. You're gonna need garlic powder, Worcestershire, a big can of mixed nuts if you make a few batches. We put pretzels in ours. We put Cheez-Its in ours. Corn Chex, rice Chex, and it calls for wheat Chex, but I'll leave the recipe empty of it, and I make up with this cereal. And you'll need some butter. Now here I've already got my pan ready. It takes 6 tablespoons of butter. And this is 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. So what we're gonna do, follow me over to the oven. We're just gonna do that like maybe 2 minutes. I just want a little bit melted. And then I'm gonna take my seasonings, which is right here. I've already got it mixed up. You need 1.5 teaspoons of seasoned salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. And that's what I've got in the cup here. And I've went ahead and measured out all my ingredients for the actual Chex mix, which that's 3 cups of corn, 3 cups of wheat, and 3 cups of rice. But if you don't put wheat, make up for it with the corn and the rice. It takes 1 cup of nuts, 1 cup of pretzels, and 1 cup of Cheez-Its.
It's all in there somewhere.
It's all in there somewhere. It's piled up. I do my pre-prep, so I'm good to go when the pan comes out of the oven. And I'll be back in just a second, and I'll show you the next step in this process.
It's filming.
And 3, 2, 1. Hi guys, welcome back. Someone has sabotaged me and put up everything. I think it was me. All right, so our butter is melted good. Oh yeah, look at that. And now what we're gonna do, and this noise sometimes bothers some people.
You. Oh man.
My wife's not a fan of that noise. But you're gonna come and put your seasonings that I was telling you about into your butter and your Worcestershire. All right. So now the reason I'm using a fork is kind of mash the seasoning up a little bit. I see my wife looking at her goosebumps.
I quit. I quit.
And it'll be hard for me to replace you on that salary.
Free.
Free. Alright, I know it's getting a little shadowy, so I'll step to the side. And we're going to go down here. And I may go ahead, I'm going to mix it up and go to the spatula.
Can you see my chill bumps? Thank you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Alright, I'm just kind of mashing these and mix them as we go. It's not going to hurt if you don't get them all mashed. I'm just kind of picky. And this, it starts smelling delicious right now.
So good in here.
This butter and seasonings that we got together is just incredible. Now the oven, I've had it on 250. That's what this whole process cooks on. And this is the mixture of the dry. So we're just going in with it. This is my designated Chex Mix pan. That is the only thing I use that pan for. This, and then this is an old pizza pan from a deli. Me and the Christmas couple wife worked in a deli together, and we took a pizza pan.
They said we could.
They said we could. We didn't steal it. They stopped doing pizzas. And you can do this in any metal pan. It's just, I've had this, what did you say, 20 years?
Yeah.
If you have access to a restaurant supply store, and they have these deep dish pizza pans. I would get one just for making Chex Mix. I mean, I've used this for 20 years, and really I don't use it a lot. Use it for Chex Mix. You know, like I said, we make Chex Mix all year. So it's worth buying one just for that. And I don't know the price, but if I had to pay 30 bucks, I would pay 30 or 40 easily. Now the reason I'm stirring it so much is because this...
I know my husband, and he would have not paid that much.
Well, I mean, free's better, guys, but this pan is just amazing. And I'm stirring it a lot because you want to get this, the juice, the sauce, whatever you want to call it, mixed on all of this. And you can see it's shining where all these parts are getting coated. And I think that's good right now. Now here's the main thing that it gets a lot of people when they're doing Chex Mix. They don't follow the correct procedures. Step one, you got to stir it just like I did. Now it takes an hour to cook. So come back down here to the timer. This is gonna be my first.
What do you cook it on?
250 degrees. And this is gonna be, you do it 15 minutes at a time for 1 hour. So it's 4 batches of 15 minutes, but every time the 15 minutes is up, we're gonna stir. Can I get some love up here on the face? We're gonna stir it in between every time. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. For you, it's gonna be like 5 seconds, and you'll see my first stirring.
I was just doing the kind
of my gut. You know?
No, that's how you would record me.
Scene 15. Hello. All right. It's been 15 minutes. Whoops. Small accident. Now it's time to stir this. Now it's gonna feel a little soggy. That's okay. That's where all the coatings are on the Chex Mix. And that's why we're gonna stir it really good. We're gonna work our way around probably 2 or 3 times around the perimeter, and always lift and pull it back towards the middle. And that way you're getting a good stir across all of the Chex Mix. Now, if you've got a thinner pan, it's gonna be a little harder. It's gonna be just a little bit harder to do this process. That's why I always only make my Chex Mix in this pan. But I've made it in smaller pans. I've went to people's houses and made it. And it's doable in other pans. You work with what you got. This, oh my gosh, I wish you guys were here. This stuff smells so good when it's cooking. If you're having a party or any kind of gathering, have a batch of this cooking. And it's gonna drive everybody insane with how good it smells. How good does it smell, Sherry?
It smells so good in here.
All right, so we've got a good stir, and we'll even it back out. And it's going in for the second round of 15 minutes. Hello, gang. This is after the second round of 15. Ooh, that oven was hot. Oh, now these are, I can tell by stirring them now, they're not as soggy. And like I said, this is only 30 minutes in. We still got 2 more rounds of 15, but we're not gonna do it any different in between each batch. You gotta pull it out, and you got to really stir this around, because this is part of what makes Chex Mix good. Just making sure everything's coated, everything's baked well. It's kind of, you know, not time consuming really, but I mean, you got to put in a little, 2 minutes each time that the oven's done. So when I say it cooks for an hour, it's really going to be about 1 hour and 10, because you're taking a couple of minutes to stir. Man, that is looking good.
And the house smells so good.
This house,
it smells like Christmas.
It smells like Christmas. And this is the second round I fixed today, because we're going to give some away to people. And this is going to be the third 15. We'll see you back. All right, guys, that is number 3. So we're gonna pull it out here, and I'm gonna go ahead and stir it one more time. This is gonna be the final stirring because the next time it comes out of the oven is when we go to cool it. And the cooling for Chex Mix, it's just as important as this cooking process, because you're gonna have to spread a towel out, and it's gonna have to cool down for a couple of hours on a clean, dry towel. And I'll show you that. I've got one, like I said, I've already made a batch tonight, so I've already got a towel laying out, and I'll show you. You know, it's not going to be a huge towel, but it's an important step just the same. And once again, we're getting a good final stir on the old Chex Mix, because this is going to be, you know, a good little snack for a week. Because you can't sit and eat it. Well, I mean, I guess you could eat a ton of Chex Mix. It's just, you know, it's one of those things you just kind of munch on from time to time. But that's it. We're going in for the final 15 minutes, and I'll see you for about 5 seconds. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I've got my towel laid out. No, it's not a dirty towel. That's just where the Chex Mix was on just about 30-40 minutes ago. Well, technically 5 minutes ago. I just took it off the towel because the whole time this has been cooking, this has been cooling. So I'm just gonna put the next batch of Chex Mix on here for cooling down. But and that's a decently sized towel. You don't need one this big, but it never hurts. You don't want one too small, because when this pan comes out, it's going to be 250 degrees. You don't want to be in the middle of pouring out Chex Mix and then having to stop and hunt a towel while you're holding a hot pan. But anyway, I'll see you in just a second.
Redecorating.
Alright guys, the Chex Mix is done. Now before I get the Chex Mix out, like I told you in other videos, let's go ahead and turn the oven off, because I'm terrible about trying to remember to do that. So I try to keep myself in the habit of turning the product off before I get the items out of it. There's some delicious Chex Mix. Looking pretty good. And give it over to the lovely assistants.
Vanna Jarrett.
Now guys, look down here. I keep my spatula, it's going to be a little dirty. Throw your napkin down so you don't get your oven top dirty, because it does have Chex Mix juice on it. And that way you don't have to clean up the oven. Alright, let's go over here.
We're on the road trip.
Alright, now I showed you earlier the towel. This is why you need the towel. And this Chex Mix is hot. It's hot, and we're going to get it off here onto the towel. And there we go. Now we're going to spread this out. Careful not to touch yourself with this hot pan in your other hand. But the more you can get it spread out, the faster it cools down. That's why I use such a large towel, because it's just going to help the cool down process. And this pan is starting to get a little warm in my hands. I'm going to step back.
Don't that look good?
Alright, come over here. Guys, I went ahead and ran some water in my pan, because this stuff's going to be kind of dried in there. So while it's getting hot, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of let it be soaking. And I'm going to use the spatula that I used to turn it to just kind of break that stuff loose. And it's going to be easier to clean here. I'm going to let this soak maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm going to wash it. And that way, every bit of the dishes are done and put away, and you're ready to cook the next time. Nothing worse than if you're going to cook There's nothing worse than if you're going to cook, having to clean the kitchen so you can cook. It's awful. Don't do it. Stop. What are you doing? See you next time.